een soulfood-experte en een grote Jimi Hendrix-fan. Ze neemt me mee naar Jacob's, een restaurant met hoofdzakelijk Afro-Amerikaanse gasten en een fantastisch buffet van tientallen soulfoodgerechten. Soulfood is de typische Afro-Amerikaanse keuken. Een samensmelting van de keuken uit het zuiden van Amerika en de ingrediënten en gerechten die de arme Afrikaanse slaven meebrachten. Jimi Hendrix was hier echt dol op.
Tonya, when it comes to soul food, I'm really a virgin.
Don't worry, you're in good hands. Are you hungry?
I'm hungry.
All right, because it's a lot of food and it's filling. So you want to start with the barbecued pork ribs here. This is definitely one of the soul food staples that you're going to want to have on your plate. So also some macaroni and cheese. That's a classic soul food dish.
Isn't that Italian?
I think it does have origins over in Europe. It shows up in a lot of different places there. But in the American South, there's so many influences, cultural influences from the English settlers and other Europeans, the Native Americans and the Africans who prepared a lot of the food. And macaroni and cheese became one of the dishes that people loved most.
Next.
Yeah, the typical soul food plate almost always has a serving of collard greens on it.
It smells great.
Yeah, they season it traditionally with a ham hock or some other kind of smoked pork or salt pork. Yeah. So fried chicken is an absolute favorite. It's like the darling of soul food, soul food today. Okay, this looks like a salmon croquette. It's like a little cake, it's a fritter, and it's mixed with some kind of meal or flour or something and seasoning, and it's fried. So cornbread is a big part of the soul food meal as well. You can use it to sop stuff up, like this okra stew. It looks like okra and corn and tomato. Well, the okra is coming from Africa, the corn is coming from here in North America, as well as the tomatoes are also a New World food. I don't even have room for it now. I gotta move things around to make some room. I warned you, it's a lot of food, and I probably put way too much on the plate.
That's also typical to eat a lot of things?
Yeah, I think that comes from people used to work a lot more. We're much more sedentary today than we were back in the day in terms of working, especially the origins of this food. And so you wanted to be able to really fill up between your next meal.
Because they had to work.
Yeah. No soul food dish is complete without having some candy yams on your plate. It looks like this one is prepared with some cinnamon and maybe even some raisins in there.
De sfeer in het restaurant is fantastisch. De gasten genieten van de smakelijke soulfoodgerechten terwijl ze heen en weer bewegen op de soul- en disco-muziek. Soul, baby.
Soul food got its name really in the 1960s when the term soul was being applied to a lot of different things like music. Yeah, and style and dancing and fashion.
You are soul.
Soul sister here, right? You know? Exactly. It became a really, almost the perfect word because it's a beautiful word.
It's a really beautiful word.
Yeah, it means so many things on a spiritual level and on an emotion and meaning level. And it's the perfect thing to apply to a food that not only nourishes you in your body, but also nourishes your soul as well.
Ik had het zelf niet beter kunnen verwoorden. In de soulfoodkeuken vind je heel wat bijzondere groentesoorten, zoals de collard greens. Een mij totaal onbekende groente, maar wel één van de ingrediënten uit het lievelingsgerecht van Hendrix. In Harlem kan je nog straatventers vinden die deze typische Zuiderse groenten verkopen.
So Tonya, this is collard green?
Yes, these are collard greens. Sometimes they get much bigger than this. These are more like the baby collard greens.
And we need the leaves.
Mostly the leaves, and you want to keep some of the vein in there, but when the vein starts to get like thick and chewy, you'll be chewing forever. You don't want to chew too much. Or you have to boil them forever, and then this gets overcooked. Yeah. So you want to cut off some of that, but not all of it.
Okay. Because this, I have to prepare it because it's one of the side dishes served with smothered pork chops. Is that right?
That's one variation. Yeah, it's a typical soul vegetable. You can serve collard greens as a side dish for almost any soul food plate.
Okay.
this is a really nice treat to be able to buy your collard greens directly from the truck. The vendors, these guys drive up from the south every week with fresh produce directly from the farm.
Okay.
So it keeps the link to the southern roots of soul food much better when you can buy it directly from the farms that are down in Georgia and in South Carolina.